It's 8:40. Good morning to you. Time for Headline Makers today with the writer Emma Wolfe and broadcaster Pete Price. Good to see you both this morning. Emma, let's start with The Sun on Sunday. And the problems, it says, caused by the junior doctors' strike will last for months.
Yeah, this is Victoria Atkins, the Health Secretary, has been warning about this. I mean, really, the extent of the... Well, we already had the backlog. We've already had all the hangover from the COVID, you know, from the pandemic and the sort of COVID and flu intensity at this time of year. People, 4,000, up to 4,000 beds a day before New Year's were being taken up by people with COVID and flu. And then this 6-day walkout, plus the 3-day walkout that we had before Christmas. So understandably, the Health Secretary is talking about, you know, the fact that these problems will roll on for months and months and months. The staff who are covering at the moment are going to need a rest at some point. They're going to need to be off. 1.2 million appointments have been either cancelled or rescheduled. So the NHS is really, I mean, we say it every winter, the NHS is on its knees. But at this time of year, with the cold, cold weather, which we know makes older people more poorly as well, it really is in a very bad state. And she's saying, you know, we just need to get around the table and talk to the junior doctors and really deal with this situation. And Rishi Sunak has been saying the same thing, although there doesn't seem to be much talking
and of course,
going on.
if Labour gets in, the first thing they will do is deal with the junior doctors, as they've done before in the past. I think what's sad is it would be lovely to know what people really think in hospitals, because I know some senior consultants and they are appalled at the strike, but they can't go public. They can't say that publicly.
We've had an email similar to that from the wife of a senior doctor. Saying that they're disgusted by it all.
And I think there's growing sympathy for the nurses as well, because we know that the nurses accepted a 5% pay increase. And it's complicated talking about these figures because, look, I think junior doctors get really, really generous pensions as well. And, you know, the 35% figure is kind of staggering, but it's made up of lots of different things, and the nurses had a different sort of pay settlement. But they had to go back to work. They couldn't carry on striking. The nurses could not afford to strike. And many of us feel that the nurses are the ones who really keep the NHS going.
It's very difficult.
And after the pandemic, we've never recovered. So this has not helped in any shape or form.
No.
But it'll be interesting to see. Tuesday is when this strike is set to end. It'll be interesting to see what happens then, because it's thought the offer on the table is around 12%. So far being rejected. But that's on par with what's been offered to Scottish junior doctors, and they had accepted that. So it will be interesting to see. You'd think we're nearing the end, or you at least hope, wouldn't you?
I'm more worried about the old people who are having their hip replacements cancelled, and people who are living in pain, and people who are not having their cancer diagnoses, and who are not having their, you know, really life-saving treatment. People will die as a result of this strike.
Well, apparently we're impacting 1 in 3 families in the UK at the moment, these strikes. Pete, sorry, you go.
No, after you.
Pete, should we look at e-scooters?
Absolutely.
And the crime wave.
Right,
that is
and there is a crime wave. They say that they've been used for 20,000 offences in 3 years, and that's a 60% rise. They're riding around. They're thieves, drugs, dealing, sex attacks, and phones getting stolen. And they're also lethal on the pavements and the roads. Absolutely lethal. And this is despite private owners of these scooters being banned on public roads and pavements. But they can buy these online, and they can buy them in shops, and they can then make them go 70 miles per hour.
But it's the people renting them, isn't it? I mean, and this is what... I mean, a crime wave is a worry, but I get fed up of seeing these blooming things scattered, because they
strewn everywhere.
And then someone comes round in the night with a van and picks them all up again.
Yeah, the e-bikes and the e-scooters, just all over the pavement.
Yeah.
But you're right, Pete. The speeds at which they go when they zoom by you, it's really.
And they've not taken a driving test or anything. They all go through red lights. You listening? You all go through red lights. And while you're at it with this, let's get all these delivery bikes going around the pavements, driving like 20 miles an hour in and out of people. It's absolutely crazy. But these are lethal weapons at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The thieving, the robberies of phones, they just go past you. And it's like Naples. It's the worst place in the world to get robbed. And it's scooters. Now they're doing it in England.
How do we fix this then, Pete?
I'd get rid of the lot. I think they're a pain. I think they're an absolute... I tried one once, by the way. It's hysterical. I look bizarre on it.
Can't imagine.
I was overdressed for it.
Overdressed, all right.
I think we have to remember there are lots of people that use them and use them regularly, use them as a way to get to work when, we're about to have from this afternoon,
Right.
London Underground strikes, which a rolling wave of strikes, which are going to be 5 days of no tubes at all.
Fine, then.
Okay, we're in London.
Yeah.
But there are lots of people that use them to get to work. I mean,
Well, then should they get insurance? Should they have insurance?
I don't know how you can do it that way.
Well,
Lots of people just
yeah,
pick
but
them up
if they
and
smash
go
into somebody, there's no,
Who's
we have to
liable?
pay insurance on the car.
Cyclists don't have insurance.
No, well, cyclists should have insurance. Sorry, Em.
We don't go at the same speeds as e-scooters go. I mean, I'm a fast cyclist, but I'm not that fast, especially not with
Jeremy Vine's quite fast.
15 kilos of wriggling child on the back. No, I mean, I think that bikes, of course, they can, in rare instances, kill. It's slightly different when you're in charge of an e-scooter or an e-bike, a machine, with a... I mean, look, people need to be responsible, but I think it's a good thing to get people moving and to get them cycling and stuff. But yeah, they can be really, really dangerous.
I was parked once and a bike hit me. I was parked and a bike hit me. He came straight over and landed on my boot. I had to pay for everything, all the damages. Completely and utterly.
Oh, you see, that's ridiculous.
You know,
That's ridiculous.
I'm sitting there minding my own business. Somebody's on my boot. Then he's on the front of me, just from half naked, and his bike stuck in the back of my car. Right, moving on fast.
Moving on. Yes. Let's talk about XL bullies. Now, the Sunday People saying the RSPCA won't destroy any. Now, I have to say, good on them, because it's not the dog's fault, any of this. I don't like just destroying animals.
I've never chosen a story from the Sunday People before, ever.
Oh, there you
go.
go.
There we go. Sunday People makes its debut. Well, I disagree. I think XL bully dogs are basically a status symbol. They are symbols
It's not the
of
dog's fault.
aggression and violence and threat. And if you have ever walked down the street with a small child at the level of a pram and a huge, great big dog, and we've seen the footage of the dogs out of control in train stations. Owners, I agree with you, it's not the dog's fault. They've been highly bred to get the most violent characteristics, to get these very weird, hybrid, violent dogs. The RSPCA is saying they will not put down any dogs whose behaviour doesn't pose a risk until there's a judge's ruling on this. We've had the ban that came in on December 31st. But the fact of the matter is, why not put them down in a humane way and breed them out?
No, look, I mean, I know it would require more funding for the RSPCA, which is already stretched. However, they should be housed. If they can't be held by public, they can't be rehomed. So rehomed within the RSPCA or within, but not put them to sleep. No.
But then you need enough homes that can take these XL bullies in.
Well, no, they'd have to be kept within the RSPCA.
Every year there are more fatal incidents involving these XL bully dogs and other dangerous breeds. They call them devil dogs, don't they?
Well, look at them there with the little sheep.
Yeah, they do look quite cute when you see them like that.
I spoke to a mother whose 10-year-old was mauled and killed by an XL bully dog, and it was absolutely devastating. So I don't think there's any excuse for having these dogs.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not saying they should be kept by members of the public. I'm not arguing that point at all, because if a decision's been made, it's been made. But I wouldn't. They need to be rehoused within a.
But then you see centres,
and then no more breeding.
And then no more breeding.
Yeah, okay.
But I wouldn't put down the ones that we have there. Just let them live out their days in a field somewhere. I don't like it.
And just to throw into that, please carry more poo bags with you. Dog, please. Because there seems to be...
Is there an increase
waning, yes.
What annoys me now that I am a dog owner, and it's
what is it?
It's a Ridgeback, Rhodesian Ridgeback, so they're big dogs.
Yeah.
That was what I was dreading, was the toilet issue. But actually, it's fine, and you just have to pick it up and get on with it. What really makes me angry, more than people just not picking it up, is people who put it in a bag and then chuck the bag.
Then on the street, so you've got the plastic and the poo.
What is the point of that?
You've got even more pollution.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the point?
I know, but our bags aren't plastic. They're made out of cornstarch. So they look like plastic, but they're biodegradable.
Yeah.
And then you just carry them about and chuck them in one of the bins that you see about, and then where you go, not a problem. Just do it.
So with it being a big dog, is it a carrier bag?
No, not yet. He's got a bit more to grow.
Still got more growing to go, hasn't he? Yeah.
Sorry about that if you're having breakfast.
Yeah, sorry. Pete, let's have a look at firms going bust, shall we?
Yes, it's very sad because it's tied up with COVID and it's tied up with Brexit. And what they're saying is more than 30,000 British businesses have been affected, as insolvency cases saw last year, because of COVID and because of Brexit.
Why are they blaming Brexit?
Because
blame everything on Brexit.
Palamine's got a company and the paperwork is still absolutely ludicrous just to try and sell stuff and to bring stuff in. So that's one of the problems there. And we tied with COVID, then the flu and the COVID, the pressure, the administrations, as we said before, have gone up. And let's throw VAT into that as well. VAT is killing the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing the hospitality.
I'd love them to do something on VAT, but it costs too much at the minute.
But it's very sad, all these businesses going. But so many places are closing in the hospitality industry because they can't afford it.
You work in entertainment. Do you feel like people we've lost the culture so much, like not quite so much, of going out to pubs, to restaurants, to meeting up with people?
Having a way, but also hospitality can't keep staff because they can go anywhere they want for whatever cost they want now. They're premium. Secondly, the electricity and everything running it. I mean, Palamine's got the art school, Paul Askew, and he has specialised chefs that he trains, and he has a terrible time. He keeps his staff, but the costs and the whole industry, and it's the backbone of England. It's a huge income, and to bring people into cities, to villages. I mean, more and more pubs are going, which is really wrong.
But
a lot of village pubs, a lot of village pubs are being run by the owners of the village now, rather than lose it.
Maybe then we should all just be having dinner parties at home. It's not good for the industry, but this Nigella Lawson...
I love this story.
Yes.
Yeah.
She says that she's given up on lavish soirees.
Yep.
But she said eating at home with friends in an understated way. But she's not giving them beans on toast, is
No,
she?
she's not. She's not giving them up.
Don't forget, you know, it's still quite...
But she also says in the story that more and more dinner parties are going midweek.
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 I'm not sure about that.
They have more options. They can do a bit of cooking in the afternoon while they're working.
I have closed my dining room down at home. I've actually got rid of my dining room because my friends were costing me too much money.
Really?
They were drinking me and eating me dry. So I went, enough's enough. That's it.
We're going out.
I saw one of them drinking vintage port, I looked through the crack of the door, putting it in half-pint glasses, putting it over there, so they didn't know it was them drinking it and blaming them.
No.
So I went, it's gone, dinner party. So the small ones, it's on your knee now with a takeaway, if you're lucky.
I've never done dinner parties.
I'm not a dinner party person at all. The idea of having to cater for people at the end of the day and doing all of that, it just gives me...
Well, when you do something lovely, you're going, you don't want to eat that, do you? Do you not think you look... When I was in the catering industry, I did a buffet once at a wedding, and it was so beautiful. I said, touch it, I'll kill you. I mean it.
Too good to eat. Yeah.
It was too good to eat. It was beautifully done. It was
But Nigella Lawson saying that she's scaled down her dinner parties, I still imagine it being utterly chic.
Very amazing.
You know, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just a simple thing that she threw together.
Cream in everything.
The rest of us, the rest of us would have been slaving
They put a picture in the paper of one of her dinner parties, and they are little dishes, but those little dishes take about an hour and 20 to do.
I might get a bowl of Twiglets.
Lovely. It's been good to see you both this morning. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Here's the weather.
Greg with the weather,